Hey there, it is Stan Shields. Welcome, replay viewers. And if you are watching live, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to chat a little bit today about the 3 keys to calendar automation. How do you automate your calendar and actually make it work really well for you? Sometimes people have semi-automated the calendar, but there's a couple of things that are missing. So that's what we're going to chat about today. And I'm going to jump right into it and start giving you, or I'll give you this presentation. It's pretty quick, actually. However, before I do that, we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. And so if you like the content, if you like what I'm sharing with you, then please do me a favor and share, like, or follow, depending on whatever the platform is that you're watching this on. And be sure to share it with friends if you like it and you think it's valuable for them, then reach out to them and share that with them as well. I would appreciate that. So I am going to share my screen and we're going to go through a few of these keys here that really can make a gigantic difference for you with regard to a calendar automation system and that system working well for you. All right. Now let's see here. My buttons aren't working. Let's hide this. And there we go. I think everybody should be able to see that okay now. So the 3 keys. Let's talk about first key. Number 1, syncing your automated calendar, your electronic calendar, your digital calendar with, or the tool that you're going to be using with your calendar where you keep all of your activities. Now, I know some people are still using paper calendars, and some people are using, whether it's Google Calendar or you're using the calendar that's in Microsoft Office, you're using those calendars. And if you're on a Mac, then maybe you've got the calendar that's inside the Mac. Specifically today, the app that I'm going to share with you at the end uses Google Calendar and it uses Microsoft 365. And so it will sync with those calendars. Now, all of those calendars will also sync with your cell phone, regardless of whether you've got a Android phone or you've got a iOS device, an Apple device. All of these calendars will pretty much sync with those devices. And so it makes it extremely convenient to have those right there with you and have your calendar right in the palm of your hand. Now, some of you say, what happens if your technology goes out or whatever? I don't know what happens, because guess what? It hasn't happened for me yet in 5 or 6 years, whatever I've been using these. So it's working just fine. I'm not too worried about the actual technology messing up. All right, number 2 is make sure that whatever calendar system you're using, that it has automatic appointment reminders. Now, almost all of the systems, as soon as somebody books a time with you, books a calendar, a calendar appointment with you, and some of the popular ones are Calendly, Acuity. I use Appointlet, and then Time Trade. There's a whole bunch of them that are out there. Pretty much all of them will send the person that booked an appointment with you, all of them will send them a confirmation of that calendar appointment. And you want that to happen. But what's even more important than sending that initial calendar appointment is whether or not the system will then remind them for you, automatic reminders on your behalf. Because I want you to think about it for a second. You've got a pretty busy schedule in your world. Most people do these days. We're all running from here to there. We've got everything from family to work to, fun activities, whatever the fun stuff is that we do. We've got pretty busy calendars these days. And therefore, we often need reminders. And the third key that I'm going to talk to you about might be the most critical, because if the person works from a calendar, you want to make sure that they get this appointment on your calendar, on their calendar, right? And but at the very least, I want reminders that are going to go to them so that I'm constantly reminding them about this appointment. So it doesn't make it easy for them to forget about it. My calendar appointments are set on a reminder of 48 hours out, then they'll get another one 24 hours out, and they get another one 15 minutes out before our actual appointment. So you figure out what works best for you and what makes the most sense for you in your environment, okay? But the third one is probably the most important of all of them, and that is, number one, what I want to try and happen is I want to try and have the person schedule the appointment on my calendar system versus on their calendar system. And the reason I want that is because I know that those reminders are going to be sent if they schedule it on my calendar system. So therefore, I'm going to really try and get them on my system. But if I don't, well, let me just, before I jump to that, here's the thing that I want to happen is that when they go through my calendar system on the confirmation page, the page that says confirmed, you are booked, you have scheduled this time, on that page, it gives them 3 little buttons. It allows them to schedule to their Google Calendar, to their Microsoft Calendar, or to a ICS file, which I believe they can use on a Mac. I'm not a Mac user, so I don't really know. However, here's the deal. If they can just click that button and it puts it on their calendar right then at that point in time, it significantly decreases the likelihood that this person is going to miss the appointment with you, because now it's on their calendar. Many of us these days really do operate by our calendar. So if I want something to happen, I need to make sure it's on my calendar. If it's on my calendar, it's more than likely it's going to happen, okay? And so you want to make sure that whatever calendar system you're using, when they get to that confirmation page, they now have the option to just press the button to add it to their calendar. You want to make it as simple as possible for them. Otherwise, it may not happen. I know that when I go through, and to me, Calendly is the worst. I know a lot of people use Calendly. It's the one that I dislike the most, I think. But what happens often is I don't get that page when I get to at the end and I get to the confirmation for booking the appointment. I don't get to that page, which means I have to manually now go and put that in my calendar. And it's just one more step. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. And so if I can have that and it's super easy, then I want to make sure that I'm able to just push the button and do it. So Dr. Boyd says here, look at this. I love it. I'm going to post Dr. Boyd's comment here. She said, book 3 appointments just today without all the back and forth coordinating time. So valuable. And that is one of the most valuable keys to actually having an appointment system like this, is that you've seen it and you've experienced it, where you say, yeah, let's get together. How about Tuesday at 3? Oh no, Tuesday doesn't work for me. Okay, maybe Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday doesn't work for me. And and now if you're talking face to face, that's not a horrible thing. Okay, you'll get through that and you'll figure out a time right there face to face. But what happens if you're doing this over email or over text messaging? That means now the messages are going back and forth constantly. And it just takes that much more time to coordinate that. Whereas if one person's if they're looking at your calendar on one side and they're looking at their calendar, they can easily match up times and pick the time that they want. And now they're going to get the reminders and everything. So it makes it super easy. Thank you for that comment, Dr. Boyd. I appreciate it, because it really does make it easy, and it's extremely valuable to have that kind of a system. All right, so those are the 3 keys. If you put those 3 keys in place, then it's very likely that you'll reduce the number of no-shows. You'll increase the chances that people are going to be ready and prepared for your meeting. And some of the other tips that I haven't even talked about is that adding additional fields or additional information onto your calendar so that you can be better prepared. When I have a person fill out my calendar form, I also ask for their website URL, and then I ask a couple of other questions in terms of what's the meeting all about and so forth, so that I can be better prepared for the meeting with them. Now, here's some other considerations that you may want. Now, I know some of you look at this and you think, these automated calendars, they're just so impersonal. And in a way, they a little bit are impersonal. They don't do the, I felt like that in the beginning when I first started to use it. When I first got one from someone, I was kind of like put off by it a little bit. But then I started to just think about how practical it is and how much time it saved me and how much time it saves them from the whole back and forth thing. So for me, that outweighs the fact that maybe it's a little bit impersonal, but I go for the efficiency. The other thing is that an automated calendar is going to work for you 24/7. You don't have to always talk to the person in order to get something scheduled. If you have a good landing page or on your website, you have a great call to action, something that now compels the person to want to be able to meet with you, your calendar is now available for them 24/7, which means that if they have a crazy work schedule and they're working late at night and the best time that they have to actually look at some of this stuff is late at night, they now can just go to your calendar when they are available on their schedule and book the time with you when you're available. So it really makes a huge difference. And so I love it. Dr. Boyd's active with us right here. He says, I emphasize making it convenient for them makes it a little personal. That's true because it really does. It's making it convenient for them. And so it does become more personal for them because it really does make it much more convenient for them. So I love that. All right. And now here's the other thing. Automatically create Zoom links, because here's what I can guarantee some of you are still doing. You schedule an appointment with someone, then you go to Zoom and you create the Zoom appointment, and then you go back to your email and you create an email to them, and now you copy and paste the Zoom link into your email, and then you send the email off to them. That sounds exhausting to me just thinking about that. And so I love the fact that this system literally, when they schedule the appointment, this system creates the Zoom meeting and it emails it along with the confirmation to them. So it's all done in one nice, clean, easy movement. One nice, clean, easy click of the button, it's done. It does all of that stuff for me. And when it sends the reminders, it's also reminding them of the Zoom link. It's sending them everything that they need to get that meeting started when it's time to get that meeting going. Now, you might feel like you don't have total control over your calendar if you have an appointment like this, but you do. You have complete control over your calendar. And so you're able to actually create different types of bookings. And so you can create a 30-minute phone conversation, a 60-minute Zoom conversation, or a 60-minute coffee thing at a location. You can create whatever it is you want to create with it. So you can create all types of calendars. And you can also create blocks of time that you are available and times that you are not available. So it's not like your whole calendar becomes available for people. You really define when you're available and when you're not available. So it makes it super simple and convenient for you as well. All right, I just talked about that. We added that in there, the availability parameters. And then you are able to share links, a specific link for a specific type of appointment. If you want to book a 2-hour session with someone, you don't need to make that link a public link. That link is a private link that when you want to book 2 hours with someone, you send them that link so that now they can conveniently look at their calendar and yours and pick a 2-hour slot that works for them. And the calendar knows whether or not there's enough time in between events and meetings and whatnot that will fit 2 hours in based on all the parameters that you set. I even put a parameter in there that I don't want to have 2 meetings that are literally butt up against each other back to back. I have a 15-minute buffer in between meetings so that I don't get caught in going from one right to the other without any kind of a little break or anything. You can even set it to say, I only want 3 meetings on a day in any given day. So once 3 meetings are booked for that day no longer becomes available. So there's just so many options. There's tons of options that really makes these whole calendar things work really well for you. So now my favorite, I use Appointlet. And I'm going to actually put the Appointlet banner on the screen right here as well. It's on the slide, but I'm going to put it right here on the screen as well. Now, Appointlet I am an affiliate with Appointlet, but that doesn't cost you any more money. It's the same price anyway. And then if you use my link that I just put on the screen right there, here's a couple of things. You get a 15-day free trial for the premium version of it, which you can then see all of the features and benefits, as well as then I will also do a 30-minute free tips and tricks coaching class with you if you want to learn more about some of the little inside tricks that I've learned with using this tool. But this tool has been a lifesaver for me. It's been invaluable. I've added so much. It's added so much ease of getting appointments scheduled and getting people on my calendar. It's easy to do when you're in a meeting. You do all these Zoom meetings and everything else, and you find somebody that you want to connect with and do a one-to-one with. Super easy. Just give them the calendar link and they're able to schedule that. And so just like as Dr. Boyd said earlier with her comment earlier, that it's just so valuable, right? It just totally eliminates that whole back and forth thing. And so that is, it just makes it a gigantic tool for a little bit of money. Now, I know a lot of people, you're thinking, okay, how much does something like this cost? Well, Appointlet is probably the least expensive of the three that I actually like. And so Acuity is another one that I like. And then one called Zoom.ai. I like that one as well. But Acuity is the most cost efficient. It's got huge benefits for a little bit of money. It's basically, there is a free version, but remember the free version doesn't give you the reminders and all the tools you really need to make a calendar system effective. You can use the free version. However, you have to remember that now it's on you to do all of your confirmations. And so you really need to do those. Just like confirming any appointment, you really should be confirming those appointments anyway, right? And so the free version means you have to now do all those confirmations. So it kind of defeats the point, the purpose a little bit of creating an automated calendar system. The paid version, it's only $8 a month if you're paying for it annually. So $96 a year, something like that. And it's been well worth $96 a year. I've earned that back tenfold or 20-fold or 100-fold or whatever. Just huge benefit for doing it. So at any rate, that is it for the, let me stop sharing my screen right here. And that's it for the calendar system. I highly recommend that you jump on board with the calendar. Get yourself one of the calendars. I like Appointlet. There's tons of them that are out there. Pick one that works for you and go to work. All right. So that's it for this Thursday Tech Talk, or Tech Talk Thursday, whatever the name is that I'm giving these events on Thursdays. But that's it for today. So I look forward to seeing you next time. And so until then, make sure you either like, follow, subscribe. If you liked what this tip and you liked what I'm talking about, then please do me a favor and share it out to others as well. Take care. I'll talk to you.